content. The following stream contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences, including mature themes, strong language, and potentially sensitive material. Viewer discretion is advised.
What up, everybody? Hope my mic is working because I have a new thingy I got from the old TikTok shop that I am testing out, and I have no idea how it works. Can you guys hear me all right? I hope so. CRR, remember, for 15 months, I miss all my bows, and I came into... Because
I'm going to bunk with you, buddy. We're going to be buddies. We're going to be
gifting
because I'm going to bunk
5
with you,
memberships.
buddy. We're going to
Thank
be
you so
buddies.
much,
We're going to be
Lisa.
pals.
Really
We're gonna
appreciate it.
wrestle around.
Oh, Simmy, on your birthday. Simmy, happy birthday, Simmy. Laura, a member for 16 months. Thank you so much. I see $10 from Deja. Thank you so much, Deja.
Come back, Jay.
Steve, what's up, Steve? I don't know why I'm not hearing Botrix, though. Hold on, maybe I might have it off.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy.
I don't hear Botrix.
We're going to be buddies. We're going to be pals. We're going to wrestle around.
Katie, what's up? Kai, Afton, Tony, a member for 15 months. Sheila, Miss Dina, Kai, Karen, Lindsay, Mom, EMS.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy.
Cindy.
We're going to be buddies. We're going to be pals.
$20 from Amy. Wow, thank you so much. Can you guys hear the Botrix things? Because I can't hear them through this thing. Oh, wait. Let me make this louder. Maybe I can. No. Hi, Christy. Good to see you, Miss Dina. Hello, Boogies. Shaboogies. Defense Attorney Meow, member for 12 months. Love the JBN. Hey, Jerry.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy.
Oh, I hear it.
We're going to be buddies. We're going to be pals. We're going to...
Simmy, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you have a great birthday. What's up, Bella? Good to see you, Bella. Good to see everybody. Thanks so much for being here. If you didn't read the description, what I'm doing, this is Jay the Juror. And by the way, for all the people complimenting the thumbnail, of course, that was done by my wonderful wife. Best babe in the land.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy.
Jennifer
We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna
J25,
be
14
pals.
month
We're gonna
Super Bowl.
around.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate your support always. So the reason I am doing this, what I'm doing here, I'm going to start with this trial. Jay the Juror. This is a case where I know pretty much nothing about this case. I saw the verdict. I saw some shenanigans went down. So we're going to check it out tonight. And I think I'm going to go live tomorrow, Saturday, at 9-ish Eastern. I got to drop off my car. It has a crack in the windshield. But, all right. So, hi, baby doll. Welcome. It is amazing, Bella. And Shannon got it for me for Christmas, I believe. She said I wouldn't wear it. You're damn right I'll wear it. So we're going to check out the South Carolina versus Zachary Hughes. Hey, Meg P. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you. All right, Jerry, calm down. I'll make Jerry a little bit lower there. Let me move him over. Oh, there's Babe. She's here. Hi, Serena. All right, guys. You want to see this thing? Should change. This thing has a voice changer. Who wants to check it out? Here? Let's check it out. Voice changer. Well, first it has like sound effects. Let's see what this is.
Congratulations, well done.
I feel like that's supposed to be Ryan Reynolds, right?
Congratulations, well done.
Let's see what this one is.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Just got a Venmo from Kathy for $4.20. Jay's back. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kathy. Really appreciate that Venmo. Hello, Dottie for Gotti. Welcome. Can you guys hear these sound effects, by the way?
Oh, my God.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. Lindsay, a member for 9 months. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
With you, buddy. We're going to be buddies. We're going to be
whistle.
pals. We're going to wrestle around.
All right, now I'm going to try to change my voice. Ready for this?
Male voice.
Male voice. This is the male voice. Hello. Oh, and it has reverb. This is the male voice. All right, what's up, Amy? Good to see you. All right, let's change the voice again. What's up, Dixie?
Female voice? Oh, it's me with the female voice. The job is going good. It's way better than my insurance jobs, I'll tell you that. Let's try another voice change. Hey, Sherry.
Baby voice. This is my baby voice. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you, Betty. Let's see what this is.
Uncle voice. This is my uncle voice. I don't know what that means. All right, how do I turn off this fucking thing? How do I get this off?
No. Shit.
Hello? Test, is this working again? All right, we're back. I think we're back. We're back to the normal voice. I could do auto-tune. Auto-tune, hello. This is B flat. I don't know what I'm doing. Hello. All right. No, turn off. No, I don't want reset. No, not custom sound. Shh. How do I test? All right, we're back. Sorry about that, Sherry. What's up? Where's the pickles? All right, let's start the trial. Sorry about that. Sorry. Here we go. All right. So I have not seen any of this. Let's hope this works. Here we go. Whoa, that is not a... Whoa, all right. Why don't I just move myself down here? Move this over here. What's up, Kathy? Catgrow, a member for 15 months. Thank you so much, Catgrow. And let's go. We ready? We ready to do this thing?
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy. We're going to be buddies. We're going to be pals. We're going to...
And if you could hit that like, greatly appreciate it. All right, here we go. Opening statements. This is cut off a little bit, though. Let me fix this screen. I don't know anything other than the verdict, pretty much, but there's apparently a lot of stuff went on, so yes, buckle up. Good to see you, Amy. Ginger Snaps. I saw Charlotte in here before. Welcome in, everybody. Here we go. What's up, Miko? Here we go. Let's go. Oh, and I'm going to put this on 1 point. Let's start it at 1.25 and then see if we need to make it faster or slower.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Walt Wilkins, and myself, along with Jake Hoferth, we are the prosecutors in this case. This is Detective Jared Sparkman and Master Deputy Blake Wolf. They're the co-lead investigators in this case. I want to thank you for your service and thank you for giving...
Oh, I already see we need trigger warnings. All right, so trigger warnings, apparently we need some trigger warnings. There's some triggering stuff, so if you need to take a break, take a break. We always say, here we go, prosecution opening statement.
Giving us the opportunity to present this case to you. The state has the obligation to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's the standard that you're going to hear from the judge, you're going to hear throughout your deliberations and throughout this trial. We have to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. And there's a lot of folks in this courtroom right here that you see. And so we are the prosecution. We represent the state. We have the honor of representing the state in this particular case.
Oh, my God.
The defendant sits over there.
Right off the bat, folks, we have an elephant trunk court reporter right off the bat. Look at that. I come back to a trial and we got the elephant trunk. What a day. What a way to start.
That is Zachary Hughes along with his attorneys, and they represent him in this particular case. But there's many more other individuals in this case. We have the court reporter. She's very important. She is taking down everything that we're saying, recorded, so we can have a record of this entire case.
And he just brought up the court reporter. What is going on?
So at its conclusion. And so that's what she'll be doing, and she'll also be marking exhibits. So if you see her over there writing on things, that's what she's doing. She's marking the exhibits.
Is this guy giving a tour of the courtroom? Is he going to announce all the characters in his opening statement?
In which we will identify things that we will be presenting to you for your review. This is Madam Clerk. She's involved with a lot of paperwork. and handles all the evidence that we submit into the court. And so she'll be handling all the exhibits that you'll get to review upon your deliberation. And of course, we have the judge up here. And if you'll notice, the judge is a pretty important person. He's got a black robe. He gets to sit a little higher than the rest of us.
Is he fucking kidding me? Is he serious with this? You'll notice the judge. He's important. He's higher than us, and he has a black robe. Like that, I feel like if I was in the jury, a little condescending for me. That's a little condescending. Yeah, buddy, I know the judge has a black robe, and I know he's important. Thank you. What's up, Cindy? What's up, tennis girl? What's up, Kayla? Thanks for being here, everybody.
There's a reason for that, because he's the referee in this case. And he's going to be calling balls and strikes. He's going to be telling us what the law is. And when one of the parties has an
Thanks, buddy. I know what a fucking judge is.
objection, he's going to say whether you're right or whether you're wrong. And because there are rules in this courtroom, ladies and gentlemen, the rules are officiated by the judge to make sure that
This is the judge. Have you seen my cousin Vinny? He tells these lawyers what to do.
we maintain the rules and decorum in this courtroom, and the evidence is presented to you in the proper way. But the most important people in this room, ladies and gentlemen, are you. As the
You. There we go. Here we go.
judge said, you're the triers of fact. You decide what the facts are. And the great thing about serving as a juror is that you don't leave your common sense at the door. You get to bring it with you in here. And you get to listen to the testimony that'll come right from this chair right here. And you get to look at the evidence that's presented in your deliberations. And you can see it along the way of how this case progresses. You'll hear different kinds of evidence. So the judge said, you hear direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. They're both very powerful pieces of evidence. They can be used in any way in which you accept them. Direct evidence is simple. It's something that somebody can see, taste, or smell, something that they see. If you see somebody commit a violent crime, that's direct evidence that they saw that person there. Circumstantial evidence could be just as powerful.
What's up, Kim?
For example, if you look outside before you go to bed and you see your lawn nice and green, and you wake up and it's covered in snow with your footprints walking through the snow, well, you know that somebody walked through your yard.
Fucking snow analogy. We're really hitting all the points here. We're really doing the prototypical opening. I am not a fan so far, I have to say.
The time you went to bed and the time you woke up, you don't know who it is, but you know somebody did because you can see footprints. You can derive information from that to form a logical conclusion. Another good example of circumstantial evidence is DNA evidence. If you have DNA in a certain location, you can derive that that person was at that location at that particular time. Even though no one may be testified that they actually saw him there, but the DNA shows that he was or she was there at a particular time. It's very powerful circumstantial evidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, this case is about the murder of Christina Parcell. And the state intends to prove that Zachary Hughes did, in fact, murder Christina Parcell. You have a number of charges that you're going to be deliberating on. You have harassment charges, you have a burglary first-degree charge, and you have a murder charge. Harassment is basically doing something that would intrude into the personal life of somebody, causing mental anguish. Burglary first degree means you went into somebody's home for the purpose of committing a violent crime. And then, of course, murder is an angry heart. We have to show that Zach Hughes had an angry heart. He was mad. And you can derive that information.
An angry heart? Is that the letter of the law? An angry heart? I've never heard that before.
From any of the testimony, any of the evidence that we have that we present to you. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear about a number of characters. The main character is Christina Parcell. She was murdered on October 13th, 2021. And she was living in the Canebrake neighborhood with her sister, Tina Parcell, and Christina's daughter, Aida Mello. They were living in that neighborhood in a house in Canebrake, and Christina Parcell had been going through a very tremendous child custody dispute with John Mello since Aida was 3 years old. At the time, Aida was 9. For almost 6 years, they had been battling custody over Aida Mello. And that custody dispute raised to a certain level beginning in October of 2020 when John Mello and Aida Mello went to Italy. And John took Aida Mello to Italy, and Christina fought to get her back. And in April of 2021, Christina obtained Aida's custody. And they came back from Italy, and that's how they ended up living in the Canebrake neighborhood. So the question is, how did Zach Hughes become involved in this case? Well, Zach Hughes had a relationship with John Mello starting in about October of 2020, around the time when he left for Italy. And that relationship grew. And it grew to the point where Zach Hughes began inserting...
Wow, an angry heart is actually a thing? That's wild. And Lisa, thank you so much for gifting out the memberships. I really appreciate that.
...himself into this custody battle at the behest of John Mello. And they began doing things like sending photos of her to the neighbors in an effort to shame her, an effort to show that she's a bad mother. And as the custody dispute it elevated into a situation where custody might not go in John Mello's favor. And at that point, Zach Hughes made the ultimate decision. Ladies and gentlemen, I hold in my hand the indictments from the grand jury charging Zach Hughes with harassment and burglary first and murder. And the grand jury drew bill of these cases. They came out, and these are the charging documents. And while the defendant at this point in this case is certainly clothed in innocence, once you hear the evidence from that chair, you hear the evidence that's presented to you, you're going to find beyond a reasonable doubt, and the evidence will show that Zach Hughes is a cold-blooded killer. And he committed murder, he committed harassment, and he committed burglary first. Thank you.
Wait, did I miss it, or did he not really describe what happened? I mean, he said that he murdered her, but did he give any sort of description there? I was sorry, I was doing the thing. Hey, Maya, good to see you. I do have an angry heart. I do have an angry heart. Yeah, I'm going to be back streaming more. Going to be making some more videos, so thank you all for sticking with me. I appreciate it. On to the defense opening. Yeah, and like I said, I'm probably going to do this tomorrow around 9 Eastern. I just got to drop my car off. Mia Beto, member for a year. Thank you so much, Mia. Appreciate you. Elizabeth L. Oh, miss you. Good to see you, Elizabeth.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy. We're going to be buddies.
Tomorrow. I will be back on tomorrow at 9 Eastern.
Hey, our making court defense is going to defer over.
a.m. Eastern. 9 a.m. Eastern. Depending on how me and my lady's date goes tonight. She just laughed at me in the other room. Why would it prevent me? Well, you got me some drinks. I don't know. That's true. We do have to take the car at 8 a.m. Hey, Irish Eyes. Good to see you. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Opening until our case. Thank you, which is your right.
It's you guys.
Stay. All right, Your Honor. The state calls Sarah Young.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, there's no defense opening? What? Wait, I'm sorry. I'm all out of sorts here.
Hey, our making court defense is going to defer opening until our case. Thank you, which is your right.
What did he say?
Hey, our making court defense is going to defer opening until our case. Thank you.
We're going to be buddies. We're going to be
They're deferring it until our case. I don't know if I've ever seen that. What's up, Amanda? Good to see you. Lisa Dempsey, such a good Friday to have Jay in court live. Hey, Lisa, thanks for being here, and thanks again. 14 months, appreciate that, and appreciate you giving out those membies. All right, so we're going right to a witness. Look at that.
All right, Your Honor. The state calls Sarah Young.
Sarah Young. We're going right into this. So he deferred the opening, folks. So he's going to do it when they start their trial in chief, their case in chief. Why am I waiting? I can fast forward. This isn't live.
Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you. Please be seated. Please state your name for the record.
Sarah Young,
Ms. Young, with whom are you employed?
the Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
And what do you do for the Greenville County Sheriff's Office?
I'm the 911 tape research analyst.
And what is a 911 tape research analyst?
Essentially, we pull 911 calls for the solicitor's office and the officers.
And so how does 911 operate?
Essentially, when a 911 call comes into dispatch, dispatch determines whether or not which agency the caller is needing. So whether or not they need police, fire, EMS, they'll get information from the caller, and they'll transfer them to the proper agency.
And are the calls recorded?
Yes.
And when do they begin recording the call?
Automatically. As soon as someone calls in a 911, it automatically starts recording.
So while it's ringing on, say, the caller's side, it's recording on your side?
Yes, sir.
Is that fair?
Hey, Scott.
And do y'all maintain all of those records?
Yes, sir.
Inside the 911 office?
Yes, sir.
And are those records kept in the ordinary course of business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 7 and ask you if you recognize that.
Yes, sir, I do.
Are those your initials on there?
Yes, sir.
All right, and what is this?
That is a recording of the 911 call.
All right. I'm referring, is this a recording of a 911 call on October 13th, 2021?
Yes, sir.
And you have your records up there?
Yes, sir.
To help you remember?
Yes, sir.
It was a long time ago, wasn't it?
That it was.
Do you know about what time this call came in?
The call came in at 11 a.m.
At 11 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
And do you know what number called it?
Yes, sir.
What number called it?
The number we have recorded is 864-436-2499.
And do you know who was calling? Does it tell you?
The caller did not give his name.
Did not give his name?
No.
And do you know what address that it was, he was calling for?
Yes, sir. The address provided was 122 Canebrake Drive.
Okay. Do you know if that's in Greenville County?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 7 into evidence. Your Honor, State would like to publish it.
It's Island.
122 Canebrake Drive.
NJ Police 511 was the address of your emergency.
122 Canebrake Drive.
NJ Police Fire EMS.
I'm sorry? I think I might have a desk.
Okay, let me connect you.
Walked in my fiance's house. She wouldn't answer my call. There's a very weird smell, and I can't get her to come around.
Okay, let me
Laid all over the floor.
let me connect you to EMS there. Hold on just a moment.
All right.
EMS Fire. What's the address of the emergency?
122 Canebrake Drive.
122 Canebrake Drive. And what's another street near Canebrake Drive?
I don't know. Southeast Drive.
Okay, in Greer.
Yes.
All right, the phone number you're calling.
I'm sorry?
The phone number you're calling from?
864-436-2499.
864-436-2499. Has anyone tested positive COVID-19? You've been COVID-19 positive?
No.
No, thank you, assessment.
I just walked in. I can't reach my fiance. I came in the back door. She couldn't go there. I smelled some weird smell. I looked like she fell out on the floor.
Okay, you smell a weird smell and she's flat on the floor?
Yes.
Okay, just one moment.
I think the thing is, my little finger.
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay, then we need to get her, turn her over, make sure she's flat on her back, nothing under her neck. You have something to put over her nose and mouth, and we're going to start CPR, sir.
Okay, I think she's gone.
You think she's gone?
Yeah.
Okay. And what makes you think she's gone?
You know about the thing with the CPR?
I'm sorry?
What do I do? I don't
Well, wait, we're going to put her on her back, and then I'm going to walk you through the steps to do that. If you think that she's able to do the CPR, then we can. I have no problem walking you through that.
It looks like it's brain matter.
There's brain matter everywhere?
It looks like maybe it's something about the helmet.
Somebody had shot her? Okay.
All right, let's see if Botrix reads this. No, Botrix did not read it. Thank you, Suzanne. Hello. Oh.
Hi, Jay. Lisa Bailey. Hello, sister. Revolving hearts.
Thank you, Suzanne.
All right. All right. Do you think that she's not viable? Okay. So tell me why you think she's dead. Eyes are open. Okay. All right.
There's a lot of blood.
And a lot of blood. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, there's someone must have come here.
Uh-huh.
There's someone else who knocked off. It looks like in the hallway.
Okay.
But the smell is very.
Okay. All right. Give me just a moment here, sir. Give me just a moment. So it looks like somebody may have broken in and shot her in the head.
Me, I don't know.
Okay, I understand. Okay. I'm sorry, say it again. I've got some people coming, sir. Do you see anybody still nearby, an assailant or anything? No?
Hello, Jay and Sis Suzanne.
The front door was locked? Okay. Yes.
And then I came down and smelled this weird smell.
Right.
And I walked in, I could see there's like a raised floor.
Yes. Okay. I have everybody coming. I'm sending the paramedics to help now. Stay on the line. I'll say exactly what.
I know it's the call or the recording, but I can't hear Marble's mouth at all. I can't tell what he's saying.
Do next. Make sure to not move anything. Leave everything as it is.
Yes.
And if you can, go ahead and step out of the house, and that way wait for the paramedics and the police at the front of the house. Yes, I would go back out the way you came to, keep the scene as it is.
Yes.
And then if they want to go through the front when they get there, then they'll let you know. But I go back out the same way that you came in.
Okay.
And leave everything as you found it.
I think it's gonna on off.
That's okay. Leave it there. Just however it is right now. Just walk out. You can let them know you didn't know if you turned it on or off, but just leave it as it is right this moment.
It's something really small.
Oh, really weird.
Yeah, almost chemical.
Like a gas or a chemical?
No.
More like a gas smell?
No, it's more like something with a pesticide.
A pesticide smell? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and get out the door and go to the front and wait for them at the front of the house. Leave everything as it is. Is there anything else that I can do for you, sir?
No.
All right. I've got them all coming.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Sir, this is the sheriff's office.
Is that the recording of your tree from 911?
Yes, sir.
Answer any questions defense counsel may have. Prosecution?
No question, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Young, you step. No, we'd ask the witness to be excused. They be excused. Fine.
All right, let's fast forward this motherfucker. See who's next.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Chris Robinson,
And with whom are you
Lead
employed?
singer of
Greenville
Black
County Sheriff's
Bros?
Office,
And what's your current rank?
Master Deputy.
Master Deputy. And what do you do for the Greenville County Sheriff's Office?
Currently on uniform patrol.
And what does that entail?
Answer your day-to-day calls, 911 calls.
How long have you been with the department?
10 years.
I'm going to refer you back to October 13th of 2021. Do you remember getting a call to the Canebrake neighborhood?
I do.
Okay. How did you get that call?
It was just a call for service at the time. Someone called 911, and I responded to that address.
Where were you located when you got that call?
Pelham Road at the QT.
How far away is that to the Canebrake?
Missed your face. 2 hearts.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate you.
A couple miles, maybe.
How long did it take you to get there?
Just a few minutes.
Now, did you go with your blue lights on, or did you
Absolutely. Just for the nature of the call, yeah, we responded lights and siren.
So, what address did you arrive to? Do you remember?
I'm not 100% the exact.
122 Canebrake?
That would be it, yes, sir.
And so, what happened when you got there?
So once I arrived on scene, I made contact with the complainant, Mr. Post. He was standing in the driveway. I was kind of briefly spoke to him, trying to figure out kind of what was going on. He told me that he arrived home, or arrived to the victim's address when she wasn't answering her phone. So he said he went in the back door, it was unlocked, and that's where he located her. So at that point, another deputy arrived on scene. So we decided to go in there and clear. We went in the back door. He said it was unlocked. They always leave it unlocked. So that's the way we made entry. Went inside immediately. As soon as we got inside, immediately smelled some kind of chemical odor. It was kind of unusual. We weren't 100% sure what it was. I could never figure it out. But we cleared the residence. I located Ms. Parcell in the living room. There was blood all over the floor. Looked like there was drag marks on the floor where she was had been drugged by her feet or drugged somehow. She had multiple lacerations around her upper, her face, her neck area.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to take you back a little bit. Now, when you get out of your car, did you walk down the driveway?
Yes, sir.
And what cars were parked there?
There were 2 cars in the driveway. They were kind of parked one behind the other. One, I think it was a Mercedes, was the back one. I don't remember which one the first one was.
And about where did you encounter Mr. Post?
He was in front of the first car closest to the house.
And then that's where did you obtain some information from him about what was going on?
Correct. Like I said, the basic information about, or he came home and he couldn't get her on the phone, so that's why he showed up.
And so your next item to do was to clear the house?
Correct.
Did you do that alone, or do you?
No, Master Deputy Brookshire was there. He went inside with me. We did it together because we didn't know what was inside or who else was inside.
So at that point, you have no idea what you're walking into?
Correct.
Is that standard procedure to have 2 individuals clear the house?
Yes, sir.
And did y'all in fact go and clear the house in this case?
We did. We cleared the entire house. Didn't find anyone else inside besides Ms. Parcell.
Were you wearing a body camera?
I was.
And was it functioning properly?
Correct.
That day?
It was.
Have you reviewed that body camera?
I have.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit A and see if you recognize that.
Yes, sir. That has my body camera on it. I signed it there.
Those are your initials right there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is this your body camera that you were wearing that day?
Yes, sir.
When you made a call to 122 Cambridge?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 8 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor. Exhibit A comes in evidence.
All right. Master Deputy, I'm going to show you this body camera, and we can start and stop it. I want you to kind of walk us through what you're doing and what you see as you're going through and you're clearing the scene.
All right. Well, I assume this is part of the trigger warning. So if this kind of stuff upsets you, take a break.
With Officer Brookshire?
Yes.
So what is that there?
That's us arriving on scene, or me arriving on scene, to 122 Cambridge.
All right, and so is that the first time you saw this location?
Yes, sir.
And are those the two cars right there that you can see the silver one in the front?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And there was a red one behind it, I believe. All right. Is that where you encountered Mr. Post?
Yes, sir, initially.
And what is Mr. Post doing?
He was making a phone call. I'm not sure exactly who he was on the phone with, and we're just kind of...
This guy kind of almost has a Eugene. I mean, this guy has a nice head of hair too. Two good heads of hair so far.
I'm getting basic information from him. Kind of figured out what was going on, kind of what he saw, and what.
He doesn't have a microphone. Why can't I hear what this guy is saying? This is muted. Oh, Catherine, what's up, Catherine? Good to see you. This is not another channel. This is the original channel. And we are watching South Carolina versus Zachary Hughes, Rose Petal murder trial. And this guy is now...
Are you gathering information from Mr. Post?
Yeah, just basic information, try to figure out exactly what we have.
Now, you have audio on your body camera, don't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're not playing the audio for these purposes.
Okay. So yeah, just basic information, trying to figure out, when was the last time he talked to her, things.
For what purposes? Did I miss the purposes?
Things like that. I could see that he was, dressed nicely. There's nothing on him like where there had been a struggle or anything like that too. So he didn't seem like he was in a hurry. So it seemed like she was deceased, just according to his body language, if that makes sense.
And so where are you going down here, the side of the house?
Yes, sir. He pointed us to the back. This is the back door. He said that that was always unlocked, and that's where he made entry. So this is where we decided to go because we knew that this door was more than likely unlocked. We had good access to the house.
So is this your first entry into the house?
Yes, sir.
Now, did Mr. Post tell you which door he entered into the house?
He did. He said he come in the back door because he said they always kept it unlocked. So, and that was the door that we decided to make.
So the door being open right there was not concerning to you?
No, because he already said he was already in it. He had already been through, and that's where he went in. So I'm just talking to Master Deputy Brookshire here. We're just kind of talking back and forth about what we see inside the house, kind of what each other's going to do, kind of your primary job responsibility, and that's all standard.
And in clearing the house, what is the purpose of clearing a house?
One, to secure any kind of evidence, and also make sure there's no one else inside, maybe no other victims or the suspect as well.
So where is Deputy Brookshire?
He's to my right. He's holding on. There's a hallway on the right side of the house.
So where did you just see right there?
Ms. Parcel's body.
Okay, so that was the room where you found Christina Parcell?
Correct, in the front living room area.
And y'all continue to search the house for any suspects?
Yes, sir. We're just continuing to clear. I had him hold the hallway, and I kind of just moved up and cleared kind of behind him, up to him, and then we started clearing the bedrooms down the hallway. We're just sitting there just kind of talking our way through this, kind of, hey, what do you see?
And are you conscious not to disturb any part of the crime scene as well, as best you can?
Correct. Try not to touch anything. Obviously, opening the doors or whatnot, we kind of have to push them open. But we're not kind of rummaging through anything or opening any drawers, or we're just looking for humans at this point, so the big areas where somebody could hide.
Thank you.
No, just continue to clear the house.
Yes, sir. I believe that was the last bedroom that we cleared at that point. I believe I come out, we secure the house so nobody goes in or out.
Now, are you corresponding with other officers outside the house as well about what's going on? Are you reporting back to anybody?
Talking on the radio, just kind of letting them know what we have at this point, getting a supervisor on the way. They always respond to these kind of incidents.
Is that the front door right there to your right?
Yes, sir.
That's not the door you entered into?
No, sir. That's the front door to the residence that leads into the front living room area that Ms. Parcell was located in. At this point, I'm just checking to make sure there's no signs of life. If we needed to render any kind of medical aid. Looking for any kind of weapons to make sure it wouldn't, she did it to harm herself too.
And then now you're exiting
the back door.
The back door. So did you cut your body camera off about that time? Or let me ask you this. That's about when you finished clearing the house.
Correct.
All right. Your body camera still continues to operate.
Correct.
Do you remember what you did after you cleared the house?
Went back and talked to Mr. Post, got some basic information, names, kind of the last time he spoke with her, things like that. And just waited on everybody else to show up.
Did y'all begin putting crime scene tape up?
Yes, sir.
Those kind of things?
Yes, sir. Just locking down the house, making sure nobody goes in or out, just to keep the crime scene preserved the best we could.
And as far as Mr. Post is concerned, did he appear to have any blood on him, anything like that?
No, he was dressed pretty nicely that day. Sports coat, nice slacks.
Oh, so Post, the dude who looks like he's in The Sopranos, who's outside, who looks like he's Beethoven, he's Post, and his fiance is the one who was murdered. Is that right? Post is outside house. Yes, Brad Post. Okay, thank you. Not Mel.
You're just answering questions.
All right, cross-examination. Yeah, please report. Just curious, Deputy Robinson, at the time this happened, were you a master deputy?
I was.
You talked a little bit about some of the comments Mr. Post made to you after you arrived on scene. Testified to that in direct examination. I want to talk about some of those comments. Master Deputy Robinson, isn't it true that roughly about a minute, 25 seconds in to your body camera, Mr. Post told you that he was there every day, or practically every day?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, he's moved in the body camera. There was no exception as it relates to the audio. The whole video and audio is in.
Overruled. So, if I remember correctly, yeah, I mean, he says he's there often.
Isn't it true that roughly at about 12 minutes and 45 seconds in, somewhere in there, Mr. Post told you that he did not at that point feel comfortable continuing to talk to you? Do you remember that?
I do when I was asking questions.
And isn't it true that while you were talking to him, he directed you to another deputy, a Deputy Dan Bell? You might know more about the situation. Is that true? You remember that? At about 13 minutes and 35 seconds in, roughly?
I believe that was with a different case.
But while you were there that day, isn't it true that Mr. Post directed you to Deputy Bell as someone who might know more about this case? Is that true?
Not about this direct case, but I guess he's been involved with the victim before.
At some point, was Mr. Post placed in the back of a patrol car that day?
He was. You know, he was the first one to find her, so standard procedure is to kind of detain him until investigators could arrive and speak to him.
And at the time, isn't it true that well, start that. 1 second here. I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. You redirect. No redirection.
Thank you.
Witness 1's down.
Witness 1 is down. Female voice. Let's go with baby voice.
All right, who's next?
Counsel.
You guys don't know. You came in late. I have a fancy thing I got off the TikTok shop, and I can change my voice. What are we waiting for? Is there a sidebar? Oh, shit. I haven't done this in a while. Wait, where is it? Shit. So, is this it? No, that didn't work. Oh, no, it's not working. Stream deck. What's this next voice?
Uncle voice. This is the uncle voice. Why is StreamYard not? My stream deck isn't working.
All right, I'm back. Why is my stream deck not working? It's not even coming up on my... Oh, there's shots, but it's not on... What the hell is stream deck? Hold on. Don't worry, I'll fast forward this in a second. I want to see something here. All right, let's see. This should work now. There we go. No, not now. All right. Let's fast forward this. If I take meds, double up. Oh, boy. All right, thanks for being here, Rachel. Yeah, I heard this is a banana sandwiches case, so let's fast forward. Oh, we got someone. What? We got an old dude in some... An old prisoner? All right, here we go. What's going on here? He's waddling in here. Who is this guy? Hit that like, everybody. Hit that like. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Waddle, waddle, waddle.
Meow. Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand.
Oh, when he's got the middle part
The
going?
whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Bradley Post.
Wait, this is Bradley Post? This is the guy who was in front of the house with the good hair? They butchered his hair. This is the guy with who looked like Beethoven and the thing? This is the guy? Oh, boy, oh, boy. They need a better prison barber.
Good afternoon, Mr. Post. Where do you currently reside?
Greenville County Detention Center.
And have you been charged with a crime?
Yes.
Where do you currently reside?
Do you know the victim in this case, Christina Parcell?
Yes.
How do you know her?
We dated and were engaged on and off about 6 years.
And about when did y'all start dating?
2016.
And in 2016, where were y'all living?
I was living at my house in Rivoli Lane. She was living in her house or apartment. I don't remember what she had at the time.
Were you aware of a
Wait, he didn't ask what the crime was, right?
child custody dispute between Christina Parcell and John Mello?
Yes.
And was this custody dispute ongoing from 2016 up until 2021?
Yes.
And how were you involved in the child custody dispute?
I would listen to her talk. Sometimes I'd assist her to go to an attorney, whatever, but, she'd just tell me about what it was.
Was it contentious?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Was there a lot going on in it?
Yes.
Was John Mello fighting very hard from his perspective?
Yes.
And Christina was fighting as well?
Yes.
Now, do you know where Christina was living on October 13th, 2021?
On Canebrake Drive.
Is that 122 Canebrake?
Yes.
And do you know who was living at that house at that time?
Yes.
Who was living there?
Her sister and her daughter and her.
Okay, what is her sister's name?
Tina.
Tina Parcell?
Yes.
And did you have the occasion to go to that house?
Yes.
And would Christina Parcell go to your house on Rivoli Lane?
Yes, sometimes.
And what kind of car was Christina driving at that time?
Lexus.
And who owned that car?
It was mine.
All right. Did you offer her to be able to drive that car?
Yes.
And did Christina Parcell have a cell phone?
Yes.
And did you assist her with the payments on that cell phone?
She had actually 2 cell phones. She had her own sometimes and mine also. Yes.
Did y'all communicate?
Yes.
Between those 2 phones? Do you know about when Christina moved to Canebrake?
I would have to think about it. I'm thinking maybe April, May, somewhere in that time frame.
And did you have the occasion, as part of the child custody dispute, did Christina Parcell have to go to Italy?
Yes.
And do you know the circumstances surrounding why she would have to go to Italy to get her child? Can you tell the jury what your understanding of those circumstances were?
Mr. Mello kidnapped the daughter and left the country.
And do you know about when that was? If you can't remember, it's not.
It was probably 6 months before April, whatever that works out to be.
And as a result of that, what did Christina do when Aida moved to Italy with John Mello?
She found out where he was located. She contacted her congressman and the State Department and the FBI.
And did she attempt to obtain the return of Aida back to the United States?
Yes.
How did she do that?
Through the State Department. I think it was the Hague Agreement.
And did Christina actually fly over to Italy?
Yes.
Do you know how many times?
Twice.
And were you assisting her and helping her throughout this process?
What do you mean?
Financially, were you helping her?
Some, but she was receiving contributions and reimbursements from those organizations that help women like that.
Women obtaining the return of their children who've
That's
been
correct.
taken abroad?
Yes.
And so did you emotionally support her? Were you involved? Did she tell you what's going on?
Yes.
And so do you remember did Christina ever get the return of her daughter?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was?
April, May time frame of the year.
Of 2021?
Yes.
I'm going to take you back to October 13th of 2021. Do you remember that day?
I do.
Can you tell us what you did that day, starting in the morning?
Well, she had a job interview, and
She is Christina Parcell?
Yes, Christina Parcell had a job interview. Typically, when she had something critical, I would call and try to make sure she was up, and she was. And then when she was driving to the interview, she called me, and we talked for a while. And then she was a couple minutes from her interview, and so she hung up.
As far as you know, did she go to that interview?
Yes.
And then when she was at that interview, what did you do?
Generic things, common things around the house. Had to clean up and do laundry and dishes and things like that.
And then did you ever attempt to contact Christina?
Yes.
About when did you attempt to try and contact her?
I think it's around 11 o'clock, plus or minus, somewhere in there.
And so how did you do that?
By phone.
And were you successful?
No.
So as a result of your unsuccessful attempt to contact her, what'd you do?
I thought I should probably go over and see how she's doing.
And did you do that?
I did.
How did you get there?
I drove my car.
What kind of car did you drive?
Mercedes.
Is it red?
Yes.
When you drove over there, where'd you park it?
In their driveway.
And when you arrived to 122 Canebrake, what did you do?
I went to the front door and rang the doorbell.
And were you able to enter?
No, she didn't answer.
So then what did you do?
I walked around the back door because frequently they'd leave the back door unlocked. And I walked into the back door.
This jury just saw the body camera of Chris Robinson. Did you see him go in the house?
See who?
Deputy Chris Robinson, the officer who you spoke to, the first person you spoke to on scene.
I may have, but I don't recall who he was because there were several people
And
there.
the door that he used, was it the door that you used to enter? Do you know what door he used?
I think they went through the front door. No, they might have gone to the back door. That's right.
Is that the door that you used to enter
Yes,
the house?
yes.
So you did enter the house?
Right. Again, I'm not sure whether it was the front door or the back door that they entered.
And so what did you do when you walked inside the house?
It was dark, quiet, and so I walked back to down the hallway to see if she was in the bathroom or the shower, and it was all dark. And I looked on the floor, and right at the entrance of the living room and off that hallway, there were petals from like a rose. And as I looked into the room, and I saw her on her back.
And when you saw her on her back, was there a lot of blood around the room?
Yes.
What did you do?
I walked over and yelled at her, and then called 911.
And when you called 911, what were you requesting?
I told them who I was and where I was, and we needed, I guess, an ambulance or and the police assistance.
At this time,
So this dude was her fiance, and during the call and right now, he's just so matter of fact about it. I assume that has something to do with why he is in jail, but I don't know because I'm a juror and I don't know anything about this case.
on October 13th, did you know where John Nola was located?
I assumed he was in Italy.
All right. Mr. Post, I'm going to show you some envelopes. I'm going to refer you sort of back to around June of that same year, 2021. And I'm going to show you some envelopes and ask you if you recognize these envelopes. And I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to start with Exhibit 1. I want to make sure the jury can hear me, okay?
You can.
I'm going to stand this way. I'm going to start with Exhibit 1. And do you recognize that document?
Yes.
Okay. Tell this jury about how you came in contact with this document.
It was mailed to me.
Say it again.
It was mailed to me.
Okay. And is your name on it?
Yes.
And the return address is a P.O. box. Whose P.O. box is that?
It's also my P.O. box.
And when about was it mailed to you?
June 30th? June 30th.
Okay. Did you receive other envelopes as well?
Yes.
Okay. Tell this jury about how that happened.
Be a little more specific.
So tell this jury you received an envelope. What did you do once you received it, and did you receive other envelopes? Question.
I received the envelope. I opened it because it was very suspicious, with my return address. And I looked at it, and then I called my attorney.
Why did you call your attorney?
Because of the contents inside.
Can you explain, can you describe the contents?
Yes, there were naked pictures of Miss Parcell, and if I remember right, there was a mailing list of which would kind of indicate that they were going to be sent also to those locations.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 2. Is that a similar envelope as well?
When did he get
Yes.
these?
And did you open all these envelopes?
No, I did not.
On State's Exhibit 2, what is the address that it was mailed to?
It was mailed to me, but my name was misspelled.
And then I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 3. Another envelope.
Yes.
And is it a similar envelope to the other ones that you received?
Yes.
And what is the address on that?
I'm 24. It's 25. It was my neighbor's.
So 25 is your neighbor's house?
Yes.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 4. Do you recognize that envelope?
Yes.
Where was that envelope?
It was sent to an establishment that I spent a lot of time with.
And what is the return address on there?
It's mine.
How did you obtain this one if it was sent to another establishment?
I had known since the very first one that others may be sent to people. And so since I knew the owner very well, I told him that he may be receiving an envelope with those dimensions. And I said, if he does, I'd appreciate a call back.
And State's Exhibit 5? Is that another envelope?
Yes.
And what is the address there?
My address.
And the return address is?
My P.O. Box.
And States Exhibit 6.
Yes.
What address is that one?
It's 22, which is another neighbor.
So after you received and collected all of these envelopes, what did you do with them?
I talked to my attorney, and we set up a meeting.
All right. And after you talked to your attorney and set up a meeting, what did he suggest y'all do?
That we would meet with the county investigator, we did with Mr. Bevel, and also to talk to the post office since they were sent through the mail.
And did you in fact have that meeting with law enforcement?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of that meeting?
It was to give them what we call evidence, or the things that we were sent, and ask them what we should do next.
And were you in essence filing a complaint with law enforcement for a potential crime?
I don't understand the question.
Were you going to law enforcement in an effort to give them evidence of a potential crime?
Yes.
And when you're meeting with law enforcement, you say Detective Daniel Bevel and Mike Nicholson with the Postal Inspector's Office. Did you tell them how you obtained these items?
Yes.
And did you discuss who you thought might send them?
Yes.
And who did you tell law enforcement that might send these photos or had possession of these photos?
Well, we thought we knew who, of course, was behind them, but we weren't sure who sent them because he was supposedly out of the country.
So who did you tell the detectives had possession of those photos?
Wait, were they sent after the murder or before the murder?
So Christina Parcell without any clothes on.
Mr. Mello.
That's John Mello?
Yes.
And that is who she was engaging in a child custody dispute with over Ida Mello?
Yes.
Now finally, Mr. Post, I'm going to ask you, have you ever met Zachary Hughes?
No.
Have you ever talked to Zachary Hughes?
No.
Have you ever corresponded him in any way, shape, or form through email, social media, or the like?
No.
When was the first time you knew who Zachary Hughes was?
When my attorney sent me to come see me, and he showed me a picture and said this person was arrested for the murder.
For the murder of Christina Parcell?
That's correct.
And a couple more questions, Mr. Post. You and Christina Parcell were engaged.
Yes.
Did you give her a diamond ring?
I did.
Was she wearing it that day on October 13th, 2021?
Yes.
And on that day, did you provide her or give her any flowers the day before or that day?
No.
Didn't give her any roses or anything like that, did you?
No.
Mr. Post, if you just answer any questions that the defense counsel asked for you. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Honor. Mr. Post, just first question, you just mentioned that you were engaged and that she was wearing the ring. Do you remember telling law enforcement on the day this happened that she wasn't wearing a ring?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay. You don't recall saying that?
No.
You remember, now you're saying you remember seeing her with the ring?
Yes.
Okay. You were also asked if you've been charged with a crime. It's actually 9 charges, is it not?
Correct.
Okay. Ask you about some background questions about yourself. So, how old are you?
69.
What's your date of birth?
12856.
And where are you from?
Ohio.
When did you move to South Carolina?
July of, I think, 89.
What brought you to South Carolina?
Employment.
Are you married?
Was I married at the
Were
time?
you married?
Yes.
And how many times have you been married?
Twice.
Do you have any children?
No.
Okay. How were you making a living in October of 2021?
I was retired, so it was from my investments and interest.
And also from selling a business?
Yes.
Okay. And did you make a lot of money from selling the business?
I don't know what your definition of a lot of money is.
What's your definition? I mean, did you have millions of dollars?
Objection relevant, Your Honor.
All right, so when did you actually meet Christina?
I mean, I don't know if this guy is rich, but that is such a theme that rich people do not want to admit that they're rich. Like Murdoch didn't want to admit it. Wendy Adelson didn't want to admit it. Like, they never want to say. I mean, I guess it's kind of weird to say, yeah, I'm rich, but like, they never want to admit it when someone asks them if they're rich. Never.
Parcell.
I met her at her father's cigar shop. Gosh, I kept 20 years prior.
Okay. And you actually dated for a period of time back then?
Again, that's the definition of date. Yes, we went to lunch or dinner, but it was only a couple weeks, and That was it.
Okay. And why did you all break up at that time?
It just wasn't chemistry, and we both had other things to do.
All right, and then you reconnected then in about 2016, isn't that right?
That's correct.
And you began dating again at that time?
Soon after.
Had you seen her much in the years between?
No.
Had you seen her at all?
It's prior 10 years. No, I didn't even hear her name.
And then you began dating at this time. Now, Ms. Parcell had a daughter at that time, is that right?
That's correct.
You've already testified her name was Aida. Is that right?
That's correct.
And how old was Aida when they began dating?
Just got to pause this real quick because I got a coffee from Betty. Betty, thank you so much for the coffee. I hope you're still here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I don't know if I defined it when I dating, but when I saw her for the first time in 2016, I think she was 3.
Okay. And she gave up custody of Aida shortly after y'all started dating?
I don't know the exact date, but she did change the custody arrangement.
And you at this time did not know Aida's father, John Mellon? Correct?
I knew of him because I was told, but no, prior to him coming, no, I didn't.
Okay. Prior to meeting or getting back together with Ms. Parcell, you did not
Correct.
know Mr. Mellon? Okay. And did you break up during the period of time between 2016 and 2021?
Yes.
How many times did you say you broke up?
I really don't know many.
Okay. More than 5?
Maybe not. Somewhere I never counted it.
And that was at least in part because of the turbulence that was caused by the custody battle between Ms. Parcell and John Mellon?
It was part of it because it was becoming front and center of her life, so it affected a lot.
Okay, but you would continue to get back together. There was multiple times you broke up.
Eventually, yes.
Yep. And how long have you lived at 24 Rivoli Lane?
7, 8 years.
And you mentioned Ms. Parcell and Aida were living with her sister, Tina, on Canebrake Drive.
That's correct.
Okay, where did they live before that?
There was an apartment off of Woodruff.
Okay, and the 3 lived together there too?
Yes.
Okay. And did you live with anyone at Rivoli Lane?
I don't understand the question.
Did anyone live with you at Rivoli Lane?
No.
You lived there alone. Was it? I guess there was one exception then when Ms. Parcell moved in with you from October 20 until Aida returned?
She didn't really move in. She would stay with me because she always had a house or an apartment that was hers.
Okay. When did you and Ms. Parcell get engaged?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay. And did you remember getting engaged at least for the second time at the airport? Is that right?
That's correct.
And that was when Ms. Parcell returned with Aida?
That's correct.
And there was quite a group around there when you got engaged, right?
That's correct.
Who all was there?
Friends, her parents. Some of the friends I knew, some of the friends I didn't.
Okay, and this was the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport?
That's correct.
Okay, when Ms. Parcell returned from Italy with Aida?
Yes.
You mentioned letting Ms. Parcell use your Lexus. You would help her financially in other ways as well, right?
She used my car when hers was broken, or she needed to get one because she had her own car.
And you would pay her credit card bills sometimes?
Sometimes.
You actually gave her a credit card of your own?
Yes, whenever she was buying for me, buying my groceries, yes.
Okay. Do you recall being able to have power of attorney over her bank account at the Bank of Travel Address?
I don't recall giving power of attorney.
You don't recall having her power of attorney?
I don't recall it.
Okay. Now, you had a clone of her phone as well, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, this phone that you had of hers would keep track of everything that was going on in her phone. In other words, it was an actual clone. You could see her incoming and outgoing emails and texts and all of that. Is that not right?
No, it wasn't an exact clone. There were certain applications that we could see. It was mainly for her bills and to make sure that she got home at night.
Okay, but you mentioned also that you would use an app called Life 360 to keep track of her too, right?
Yes, and that was on my phone.
Okay, so that was on.
I just got a $5 Venmo from R1126. Sharon. Thank you so much, Sharon. Appreciate it very much.
On your phone. That wasn't on it. So the clone phone was for keeping track of what she was doing with her.
It might have been, but I don't remember if it was on that one. So like I said, she had 2 phones at several times, hers and mine.
And what methods did you use to communicate back and forth by texting and that sort of thing?
Call, text, email.
Okay. Do you remember what platform you would use to communicate?
At the end, we were using one called Signal, knowing that her future with Mr. Mello, there was something going to happen, and so we used Signal, which we didn't use very long because it was very difficult to use.
Okay. And you mentioned that Ms. Parcell gave up custody of Ida a few months after y'all started dating?
Yes.
And she gave up custody to John Mello?
That's correct.
And then at some point, she changed her mind and decided she wanted custody, correct?
Yes.
And around how old was Aida when she did that?
When she turned over custody?
No, when she, I think you already told us that Aida was 3 or 4, I think 3 when she gave up custody.
Yes.
How old was Aida when she tried to get custody back?
I don't recall.
Was it years, months after she gave up custody?
I don't recall the time. I just remember the instances that caused her to do it.
Okay, and that was because of her contentious relationship with Mr. Mello?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when John Mello took Aida to Italy, testified somewhat about that already, but that was around October of 2020, correct?
I think so, but I'm
Does
not
that sound
sure.
right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Does October 2020 sound right?
Yeah, I'd have to get a calendar and work backwards, but yeah.
And you mentioned that when she finally came back, it was in April
Yes.
of 21.
Yes.
And they were in the Canebrake house at that point?
No, I think they were in the apartment and then moved to the Canebrake house almost immediately.
Okay. Now, you used the term kidnap. You are aware that John Mello was exonerated for that?
Afterwards.
Right.
But not when he was there. He was found guilty by Italy, the state of Italy, and had to return her.
Okay. Well, maybe we're using distinctions here, but he was found to have to give her over to Christina, but he wasn't found guilty of any crimes.
That I don't know.
He didn't go to jail.
That I don't know.
Okay. But when he came back here, you were aware that he was exonerated for taking Aida to Italy, right?
After Miss Purcell was dead, yes.
Okay. Well, that has nothing to do with it. He was
It
exonerated.
has everything to do with it.
He was exonerated for having taken Aida to Italy because he had custody of Aida. Isn't that true?
Ask your question again.
Your objection is outside the scope of his knowledge.
This is what they were asking. So John Mello had custody of Aida when he took her to Italy.
Yes.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean she could be taken out of the country without the mother knowing.
Okay, well, you know the court's exonerated him for that.
But you know that the Hague Agreement returned her.
Well, I'm talking about in South Carolina. So for him taking Aida to Italy, since he had custody, he was exonerated for having taken her to Italy.
Eventually, yes.
Okay. And when he took her to Italy, you and Ms. Parcell spent some time trying to find where they were by looking at Facebook and Google and things like that. Is that right?
The context of what you're saying, I don't agree with, but yes, it was quickly found where he was.
Okay. Well, you can explain the answer if you need to.
Mr. Mello likes to use Facebook, and he posted a picture of his daughter to kind of show off that he had her in Italy. In the background, there was a poster that showed where he was.
Okay. And then at that point is when Ms. Parcell took all the steps that you talked about trying to get her to go back, correct?
Correct.
And you did mention that you helped her with that.
When I could.
And you were helping pay her legal bills, and I know you had an agreement where she was going to eventually pay you back, but you were giving her money for attorneys.
Sometimes when she needed it because she was working.
Okay. She made 2 trips to Italy, isn't that right?
That's correct.
And the first time she was gone a couple of weeks,
I don't recall being that long, but it was more than a week.
and Lutina, her sister, went with her the first time?
Yes.
And then the second time she went back by herself.
Correct.
And that's when she returned with Aida, and then you proposed to her.
Yes.
Okay, now, I want to ask you a little bit about the packages. So, State's Exhibit number 1 is the one that's dated the 30th of June of 2021. And that's the first one that you received, is that right?
I think so. I just have to look at the dates, but yes, the earliest.
Okay. This was mailed to your house. And there also were some that were mailed to other locations, but intended for you. Is that right?
I don't think it was immediately, no. That was sent like a warning.
Okay. Well, that was sent first. But where was the other one sent that was intended for you?
to my neighbors and to a place that I frequented.
Okay, and that was a cigar bar called Outlands?
Yes.
Okay. The contents of that have been described, you described as photographs of Ms. Parcell.
Yes.
And you said they were naked photographs, right?
Yes.
Do you recall any of the other materials that were in there?
I think there was a like a potential mailing list of where else it was being sent, like a threat.
And do you recall one of the pieces of paper that was sent to you being a website, purportedly from her?
I don't recall it was there, but I was shown that it was.
Okay. And it's a website labeled Escort Advertising and Discussion?
I don't know.
Did you not look at it at that time?
I don't recall, no.
Okay. Were you aware of all of this about her past when...
What are you referring to her past? It was the pictures that Mr. Mello had taken that they were using.
We're talking about the website.
Same thing on the website. I was told it was the same pictures.
That was what you were told?
That's what I was told.
Okay. Well, the website doesn't have pictures associated with it, right?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Did you read the contents of it?
No.
Why did you not read those? Why did you not read the information that was in the package that was sent to you?
Because I knew it was a threat, and he was constantly trying to separate us and get me to not assist her.
One moment, please. Come here, be approachable. Sure.
I'm approachable. Whoops. This part is almost over.
May I subpoena? Yes. May I please go? We just want to have this witness remain under subpoena. May I subpoena? Yes, sir. No objection.
What's going on?
And what is a practice manager? And October, who are you?
I do. Thank you. Please be seated.
Please state your name for the record.
Jocelyn McKinnis.
All right, Ms. McKinnis, with who are you employed?
Right now with Fetch Pet Insurance.
And what did you do back in October of 2021?
I was working at Valley Walk Animal Hospital as practice manager.
And what does a practice manager do?
Just manages day-to-day operations, hiring, firings, inventory, stuff like that.
And where is that practice located?
In Greer, South Carolina.
And on October 13th, 2021, did you have the occasion to interview Christina Parcell?
Yes, I did.
Do you know about what time she arrived and you interviewed her?
It was 8:30 in the morning.
And how do you know that?
I did watch the video footage verifying it, but I also had it on my calendar from back then to verify too.
So, so the actual interview, was that interviewed from inside y'all's cameras?
Yes, it was.
And you went back and reviewed that video?
Yes, I did.
And so what time did Christina Parcell arrive to the veterinary clinic?
Right around 8:30.
All right. And what was she interviewing for?
For a veterinary technician role.
And what does a vet technician do?
Basically like what a nurse does for a doctor. Just draws blood, vaccines, stuff like that.
And about what time did that interview conclude?
She left at 8:47.
That's all I have for this week.
You name me cross. Just very briefly, Ms. McKinnis, is that right?
Yes.
Just a couple of questions for you. Was that a full-time position that she was interviewing for?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Were you aware that she was already employed?
Yes, I was at the time.
Okay.
That was one of the questions I asked her.
Okay. Do you know why she was looking for another job?
I didn't ask her that.
Okay. But it was a full-time position that she was looking for?
Yes.
All right. That's all I have. Thank you, Your Honor. She can be released from school. Thank you. Anything else? No, Your Honor. Step down.
Take care, Afton.
We are going to stop and have a lunch break, and I'm going to ask for y'all to return at 2 o'clock. I told you I'm going to be a broken record, but just like I said yesterday, you are prohibited from watching any TV coverage of this trial, doing any kind of investigation, any research of anyone involved in this case by any means. You're not to look at any social media. I told
All
you
right,
yesterday,
well, we don't have to wait for this break,
on
so
your phone,
let's...
hopefully you've turned...
Why is it in parts, though? They cut in parts? All right, so where's part 2? No, not day 7. Day 1, part 2. Day 2. What the... Was there not a part 2? Oh, I know why, I bet you. What? What? What the f... Do they have a playlist or something? What are you doing, Long Crime? Why do you gotta make shit always a pain in my ass? All right, so I'm gonna assume this is this what we just watched? No. Trial motions. Day 5? What the fuck? Come on, man. Is there not like a... 10 days ago. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Why can't I find this? All right, so let's... What? Oh, they removed the part 2? Oh, all right. Thank you, Lisa. All right. Well, that makes sense. So I guess we'll go to day 2 then. That makes sense. Twisted Secrets. Oh, good idea. Good idea. Thanks, Amy. Day 5. Day 1. Day 4. Day 3. Day 2. All right, let's go day 2.
Blocked out of the photograph, so if you're on... Sure there's any...
They are all probative, and I don't believe that the danger of unfair prejudice or spurring the emotions of the jury substantially outweighs that probative value that we're putting forth to the jury.
Okay. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll be back, okay?
And, Your Honor, we would ask that there are some other photographs that we are not objecting to. We would ask that Your Honor be allowed to view those as well, so you can look at those in conjunction with the ones you've been given to see if those are...
Actions you take.
Solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes. Thank you. Please be seated. Please state your name for the record.
Kaylin Ford.
Ms. Ford, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you tell the jury where you currently are employed?
I work at Albuquerque Police Department.
And what do you do for them?
I'm a crime scene specialist.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that for the Albuquerque Police Department?
About 2 years.
All right. Where were you working in 2021?
Here at Greenville County Forensics.
And what specific role?
As a forensic technician.
And could you describe for the jury, what kind of actions you take, what your duties are as a forensic technician when you were with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office?
So we respond to crime scenes within the county limits. Depending on the crime scene, we can do things such as take photographs, process for fingerprints, collect evidence, just depending on what that specific scene is.
So it's safe to say that collection of evidence on specific crime scenes is one of your primary roles?
Correct.
And same thing would be taking pictures in accordance with that?
Yes.
Were you in that role on October 13th of 2021?
I was.
And how are you involved with the present case, specifically related to the crime scene on October 13th of 2021?
I was the primary crime scene investigator for this case.
Okay. So you were tasked with processing the home at 122 Canebrake?
I was.
And in your role as a forensic technician, are you subjected to trainings and continued education for that role?
Yes, I have my bachelor's in science and forensic and investigative science. In the past, I've held certifications in bloodstain pattern analysis and fingerprint analysis, and I am currently part of a specialized unit called the Major Crime Scene Team in Albuquerque that responds to all homicides and officer-involved incidents.
Approximately how many crime scenes do you process in a given year?
I would say over 400.
So, can you describe for this jury, specifically related to October 13th of 2021, what your process was on arriving at 122 Canebrake and the steps you took with your specific role?
So when I arrived on scene, I met with officers and detectives on scene just to get a brief run-through of what was going on. After that point, myself and officers did an initial walkthrough of the scene just to see the layout of the house and where things were located.
So when you were doing the layout of the house and going through there, did you take photographs of the outside of the house?
Yes.
And if I show those to you, would you recognize them?
I would.
I'm going to show defense counsel what is State's Exhibit 69 through 84. Did you the outside
of this?
Go through the. You can use it. State's Exhibit 69. Identify in the course of the. Showing you there who was
parked in the driveway.
Were you able to identify in the course of the investigation there who was driving the gray Lexus that day?
Yes, it was the victim.
Showing you State's Exhibit 70.
That was the red Mercedes that was parked in the driveway as well.
Who was driving that vehicle?
Mr. Post.
State's Exhibit 71.
That is the front side of the residence showing the windows along the front door.
72.
That is a close-up of the front door.
73.
That is a photograph of the exterior side of the front door handle.
74.
That is the gate on the right side of the residence if you're standing facing it from the roadway, just showing the gate into the backyard area.
So is that, are you staring at Canebrake Drive there?
Yes.
Is that the red Mercedes in the driveway?
Yes.
75.
That is the photograph of the back or side door of the residence.
And at this time, had the initial deputies already gone through the house?
Yes.
76.
That is a photograph of the backyard.
And so would this be looking to the opposite side that we were just reviewing, where the driveway,
Yeah.
away from the driveway?
Yes, away from the driveway.
77.
That is a photograph of you were standing at that gate that we just viewed, looking at the end of the end of the backyard.
78.
That is just showing a close-up of the creek and what you can see from the backyard.
Okay. We're going to go to State's Exhibit 80.
Side note, I always thought it would be cool to live in a house that had a creek in the backyard. For some reason, that always seemed cool to me.
That is the gate on the opposite side of the house, leading into the backyard.
That's looking into the backyard?
Yes.
81.
That is just showing another close-up of the backyard along with the second-story porch.
82.
That is a photograph of the nook that is underneath the second-story porch in the back side of the house.
And you called it a nook?
Yes.
If I'm standing on Canebrake Drive, can I see somebody under there?
No, you cannot.
And if I'm standing, let me go back to State's Exhibit 78. In the backyard there, what was the collection of houses like, I'll say, with relation to the backyard of the house? How close in proximity were other neighbors?
They weren't that close. They were separated by both of their own backyards, including that woodsy area and a creek.
Go to State's Exhibit 83.
So that's just another close-up of that nook area.
State's Exhibit 84.
And now we've moved out into the front yard, and that's just showing a broader photograph of that gate on the left side of the house.
So from where you're standing there, taking State's Exhibit 84, could you see into that nook there that we were just reviewing?
No, you cannot.
After reviewing the outside of the house, did you thereafter go inside the house and do the same process of taking photographs and reviewing the inside of the house?
Yes.
If I showed you those photographs, would you recognize them?
Yes.
I'm going to show defense counsel what it states exhibit 40, let me get this right, 30.
Which is in a room. So that is a photograph of the interior side of the front door, which is in a room that I referred to in my report as the front sitting room. Yes.
I was wondering the same, Brooklyn.
That is a close-up of the door handle to that front door, showing that it was in the locked position.
Exhibit 39.
So this is a photograph of the interior of that front sitting room, where you can see the victim and you can see some apparent drag marks as well.
Exhibit 41.
That is just a different view of the same thing, showing there are stains, apparent blood stains on the couch, as well as the pooling underneath the couch, the drag marks, and you can see right there is one of the flower stems.
Is my feed coming in glitchy? Like the video is glitchy?
So you said drag marks.
Yes.
In this photo. Could you explain that a little bit more, how you derived that based on the pattern of the blood that is displayed in this photo?
So yes, as I referred to earlier, there's a pool of blood right there underneath of the couch. From that pool of blood, that blood being on the victim's clothing, when she was moved from that original location, it created the drag marks that you can see there on the floor. And then on top of these drag marks right here are what we refer to as drip stains. That just means that an object or person or thing that had blood on it, that blood volume dripped on top of those drag marks.
You said you identified some flowers or flower stems in this photograph. Could you show me specifically where they are? Is this what you're referring to right here?
Yes.
Okay. Try you states exhibit 42.
So that is a close-up of the victim's right hand, mainly noting the chipped thumb fingernail, which is something that really stood out to me on scene.
Why does that stand out to you?
Broken fingernails can be a sign of a defensive, that the person tried to defend themselves. So that's what that broken fingernail kind of portrayed to me.
Are fingernails something you commonly collect in processing a murder scene?
Yes, it's standard procedure, but considering that one of them was broken, it became apparent that we really need to focus on those fingernails.
Okay. Joining States Exhibit 49.
So this is another photograph of that far wall in the sitting room, again, just showing that blood pooling underneath the couch. And then in this photograph, you can also see some more of the rose petals and the leaves that are leading into the hallway.
Whoa.
Were you able to find the victim's phone at the scene?
Yes, the victim's phone, it's kind of hard to see, but it is right there in that blood pool.
Right here?
Yes.
Were you able to collect it?
Yes, it was collected.
Who did you subsequently give it to?
I gave it to Investigator Sparkman.
Okay. I want to bring your attention specifically to the couch.
Yes.
There. What do you notice about the accumulation of blood, and what the significance of the location of the blood as it relates to the couch?
So with that blood volume being located there, we call that a pooling of blood. The coagulation of the blood tells me that that a major artery was hit, and that also that is the site of where the initial incident occurred. Along with that, you can see some disturbances in the blood there. That also signifies that the couch was most likely moved after the incident.
Show you States Exhibit 50.
So this is a close-up of that couch and coffee table area, showing the flower stems that were partially located underneath of that orange pillow and underneath of the table. And it is also showing additional blood spatter that was caused. The location of that blood spatter, since it goes under the table, and the size and shape of those blood stains showed me that the table was also moved back into place after the incident.
Is that the victim's phone there in the bottom corner?
Yes.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 46.
So this is a close-up of those rose petals and leaves that are leading from the doorway to the sitting room from the hallway of the house.
State's Exhibit 45.
So that is the view of the sitting room from the hallway, just again showing those rose petals and leaves.
So that's the hallway looking towards the front door?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 43.
So this is a photograph of the hallway while standing in the living room, just showing how some of those flower petals go into the hallway, and also the discarded pair of sunglasses that was located in the hallway as well.
Exhibit 47.
This is a photograph from a further point in the living room, again, just showing that entryway into the sitting room in the hallway.
So inside, that is the sitting room in that room?
Correct.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 51.
So this is a photograph from on top of that console table sitting in the sitting room where the victim's purse had been located, and it's just showing that some of the rose petals and stems had made it onto that table.
State's Exhibit 52.
This is showing the victim's purse that I was just referencing, and showing that the rose petals were also inside of her purse.
Before, approximately how many murder scenes have you processed?
Say close to 150.
Okay. You ever found flowers near the body?
No.
And I'm just going to go back really quick, 52. To the location of these flowers, were there some found inside her purse?
Yes.
And inside the items on top of the table?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 53.
So that's just another vantage point from the sitting room of all of the rose petals and the leaves that were located in that doorway.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 54.
So that is a blood stain that was located on the wall by the curtains on that front wall of the sitting room.
Were the curtains opened or closed?
The curtains were closed.
55.
So that is a close-up just with scale of that blood stain. That blood stain to me appears to be what we refer to as a transfer stain, meaning that an object or thing with blood on it touched a surface that did not have blood on it.
56.
That is a close-up of one of the gray sitting chairs next to that window on the front side of the sitting room, just showing the blood drops that had gotten into the surface of that chair.
57.
This shows those blood drips that I was referring to earlier near that gray chair. The reason that those are so significant is because they are farther away from that initial pooling that we saw underneath of the couch. So what that means is that the shape of those blood drops tells me they're about 80 to 90 degrees, which means that an object with blood on it was directly over that area of the floor when that blood drop was created.
58. Where is this in that room?
That is over by the wall where those curtains and windows are located.
And that's the same, you're talking about the angle with which this blood was most likely transferred. That's different than what you were saying the drag marks were in the earlier exhibits?
Yes, drip stains are created by a blood drop just falling in motion from gravity, kind of if you had a nosebleed and the blood was just falling out of your nose. Because that area of the living room was so far away from the initial blood pool, that was not caused from the incident. It was most likely caused, again, like I said, from an object or a thing.
I would object to the opinion testimony that's being offered. I mean, this witness has not been offered as an expert, nor do crime scene techs get offered as or qualified as experts. The pictures all speak for themselves, so I would object to opinion testimony being offered.
Yeah. She's testified to her experience in processing hundreds of these scenes and the training she's had. While this is not being offered as expert testimony, she's speaking to her rationally based perception of the angle that these blood droplets came from. As to Mr. Moyer's concern, it's right for cross-examination if he wants to offer a contrary opinion or pry into why she derives her opinion, but she's simply speaking to her experience.
I'm going to overrule your objection. It's noted.
So as I was saying, those blood drops were most likely created from an object or a thing that was in that area.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 60.
So that is showing a clump of hair suspected to be the victim's that was found in an area of blood in the sitting room.
Is that area of blood what you described as the drag marks?
Yes.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 62.
So that is a blood stain that was located on that interior side of the front door. That is, once again, what we refer to as a transfer stain, meaning that an object that had blood on it touched a surface that did not.
Finally, State's Exhibit 66.
So this is a photograph of that front sitting room again, where you can see the victim that's located at the end of that drag trail, and additionally another smaller pool of blood, just signifying that wounds were still bleeding at that time.
Did you collect those and identify flowers that were found at the crime scene? Did you collect those and identify those?
I did.
If I showed you pictures of those, would you recognize them?
Yes.
I agree, Amy. She's doing an excellent job.
Show defense counsel what's marked as State's Exhibit 85 through 90. Photograph that stuff.
Yeah.
State's Exhibit 80, Exhibit 86.
So that is a bundle. Those are bundled stems with a rubber band that were located underneath of that orange pillow in the living room.
So that rubber band was on this stem?
Yes.
On collection?
Yes.
87?
That is just a different view of those same stems showing the leaves.
89?
So that is a close-up of one of the flowers that was found on the sitting room floor.
You said wildflower?
Yes, it is a wildflower.
That's
Correct.
not a rose?
No.
State's Exhibit 90?
That is just a close-up of that same wildflower, just showing the coloring on it.
I'm going to expand on that a little bit. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 93. Are those the same stem?
No.
So the stem on the right is not a rose?
No, it's a wildflower.
State's Exhibit 90?
Just another close-up of that wildflower.
Approximately how many of the wildflowers did you collect?
I'm not sure.
6, say several?
Yes.
In your processing of the house and looking through everything, did you find any vases?
No, I did not.
Containers for flowers?
No.
Okay. And in processing that house, I assume, did you take several collections for potentially DNA testing or blood testing?
Yes.
What about fingerprint lifting?
Yes.
Now, if someone's wearing gloves, do they leave fingerprints?
No.
After you process the scene, what are your next steps upon leaving Kane Road?
So I secured all the evidence that I collected, and then the next day I responded to the autopsy.
Okay. Did you take some pictures at the autopsy?
I did.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 109 and 110. At the autopsy?
Decedent's hand, left hand, which contains.
What do they show?
They're showing the decedent's hand, left hand, which contains her engagement ring.
Your Honor, this time the State moves into evidence State's Exhibit 109 and 110.
Without objection.
Without objection, 109, 110.
What are your duties when you're at the autopsy? What kind of things are you doing there?
So at autopsies, we take additional photographs of the victim and their injuries, as well as collecting clothing, DNA swabs, otherwise known as buccal swabs, fingernail clippings, head hair samples, and pubic hair samples.
Did you collect buccal swabs and fingernail clippings from Ms. Parcell?
I did.
If I showed you those collections, would you recognize them?
Yes.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 94, 95, 96, and 97. Showing you 94, 95, 96, and 97. Starting with 94. What is 94?
94 is the fingernail clippings from the victim's right hand.
And could you describe for the jury When you're taking these fingernail clippings and autopsy, what is that process like?
So we have a sterile set of nail clippers that we remove from the packaging. We then place a piece of paper towel underneath of the victim's hands. I use those fingernail clippers to clip the clippings from her left hand, and then I do the same process with a different paper towel from her right hand. Those are packaged individually, and then the fingernail clippers are packaged and submitted as well.
Speaking of fingernail clippers, why can I never find them in my house? Why do my kids take them and then I can never find them? That's why I bought my own ones that are just for me, and no one better use them. If I can't find them, I'm going to lose it.
And is that what you did here?
Yes.
With both her right and her left hand with respect to 94 and 95?
Yes.
What about 96 and 97? What are those?
So these are the buccal swabs that I collected from the victim at the autopsy.
I know we've had some testimony to that effect, but what exactly did you do there to collect those?
So we take a sterile cotton swab and we swab the inside of the person's cheek to collect those cheek cells and get DNA from them.
And you collected 2 of those?
I did.
All right, at this time, the state moves into evidence. State's Exhibit 94 through 97.
No, I object to the introduction at this time, in that the chain of custody has not been established. These are fungible items, so it would not be proper until the chain is established.
Will you be putting them in later to another witness?
We'll have testimony to another witness, but she is the collector of these items.
Well, and until that time, they'll just remain armed.
Understood.
Put them in.
We definitely do, Brooklyn. Thank you all so much for being here. And again, tomorrow at 9 a.m.
On taking these samples, being the fingernail samples and the buccal swabs, what thereafter do you do with them?
I take them and I submit them to our property and evidence section.
Presumably for testing?
Yes.
Chapsticks, too, for sure. Chapsticks. Yes, I am, Patty B. I am. I should. A brick.
I have no further questions for this witness at this time.
Good morning, Ms. Ford. I just have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
Just about those flowers that we're talking about.
I can tell this jabroni defense attorney doesn't talk into the freaking microphone.
Quite a bit during your testimony. First off, the ones that you testified are not roses. Was any determination made as to what particular species of flowers, what kind of flowers they were?
Just wildflowers.
When you say wildflowers, what exactly do you mean by that?
Things that you could just find in someone's yard.
Okay.
Just wildly grown in a field.
Okay, and that's just based on your training, or is that based on just your experience of just knowing about flowers?
Just experience about flowers, yeah.
Okay, and the way they were positioned in the house, they were just kind of randomly scattered throughout the house, right?
They were scattered, yes.
Yes, I mean, they weren't in any kind of arrangement or pattern or anything like that.
Yep, they were just scattered.
Okay, one moment, please. Oh, and I'm sorry, just to be clear, when I said scattered, we're talking about the roses and the wildflowers. They were just randomly scattered throughout the house, right?
They were scattered throughout the front sitting room area, yes.
Okay, and so they went basically out into the hallway just a little bit, but it was mainly in that area where the deceased was found. Correct?
Yes, there were some in the front of the sitting room, and then there were some located near the decedent as well.
Okay. And again, not in any kind of pattern or arrangement or anything like that?
No.
That's all. Thank you.
No redirect, Your Honor. We would ask to recall this witness at a later time.
Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm? Please stop at the end of
All right, friends. Me lady just got home from picking up Sloan, so I think we're going to have a little date ski, a little home date. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll continue, and then I'll figure out when I'll schedule during the week when I do them. I might do some early ones before I work at 9. Might do some at night. I haven't figured that out yet, but I appreciate you all so much for. Well, wait, hold on.
I appreciate all you being here very much. Hit that like button, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, and I'm portaling you into Feral Friday, which is at 9 on Publicly Buzz with Chris Duet, I believe. So, thank you all so much. 9 Eastern tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll continue with the testimony. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.